Daily reminder to kill your masters. Okay, so what I wanted to talk about today was the idea of a book influencer. And I say idea of a book influencer because not everybody who makes videos for YouTube or for TikTok or makes posts on Instagram about books, not all of them call themselves influencers, despite all technically being part of the creator economy, whether they make money from their videos from AdSense, from brand deals, whether they just do promo deals in which someone sells them an item for free and then they have the option to show it in a video or not. I'm asking myself these questions because as I look at the way that individuals from a variety of backgrounds, whether it's mainstream entertainment media or the online stratosphere, when I look at the ways that they have or have not been using their platforms in this particular point in time about a myriad of issues to choose from, whether it's free Palestine, whether it's COVID precautions and disability justice, whether it's class inequality. Like, it's really interesting to see what people post about and why, and then what is the reaction to what they're posting based on the audience's expectations for said influencer. So for example, not everybody is interested in talking about their politics online. Not everybody operates in a framework of the personal being political. I cannot identify with that experience because I'm so removed from it, but I know that that is true. And when I think about book influencers specifically, it makes me wonder, and I say we because, I do still have a channel even though I haven't really been using it. What are we influencing people to do? Like, really, if you are someone who has a bookstagram or a book talk or a booktube channel, when you post a video, are you hoping people will read the book that you recommend? Are you hoping that people won't read a book that you hate and have done like a 45-minute rant on? Are you hoping that people are simply entertained by your videos? You just want someone to have something to pass the time with. You want someone to have something that might make them laugh. Are you hoping that they'll think more deeply, think more critically, or just look at the piece of fiction or nonfiction from a different perspective? And I'm saying you, but all of these questions are really ones that I can be asking myself, that I should be asking myself. Because when I originally started making videos, it was solely about having this overwhelming desire to talk about this book I really, really loved, Dominicana by Angie Cruz, and no one in my personal life had read it. I had no one to connect about it or connect with about it. I had no one to agree with me or disagree with me on the way that we felt the writing was handled, the romance, the kind of illicit affair, the feelings of being a immigrant in New York City who doesn't speak English. And as time went on, I learned I actually really liked editing. I have been editing videos on my TikTok channel, which has nothing to do with books, but I'll put that information somewhere if you want to follow. And what's cool about these little vlogs is that I don't have to be in them. And I don't think that I'm influencing anybody. Maybe I'm influencing them to go to museums or try new places in New York or go to, AAPI jazz cabarets, which are some of the things that I've done. It's really not for other people, even though there is a very small audience there watching. It's really an opportunity for me to get to edit and play with new things without having to be the one on camera. And it's also a way for me to have these like little time capsules of these places that I've went, these moments of joy and of the beautiful things that I see in New York. I've lived here for less than 2 years and there's so much I'm still exploring. However, that area, that way of making videos and making content feels very different than what I'm doing here. And maybe that's because I'm on camera. Maybe that's because I'm often sharing my opinions on what I read and what I think and what I feel and how it connects to what I read. But it makes me wonder, am I doing this for me? Am I doing this for you? Is it a combination of both? And if so, where do my loyalties lie? I have heard certain influencers who have much, much bigger channels who do this as a career explain their format in a one for you, one for me, or two for you, one for me, meaning that there are certain videos they do because they know they will perform well with the audience, even if they have no interest in doing them. And there's certain videos that they do just for themselves. But when they start making their career from creating content on any platform, you have to provide some value to an audience, whether that's, again, giving advice, providing entertainment, being a thought leader, whatever that actually means. And so they have to balance the things that they're interested in with the things that their audience base is interested in. And we see so many creators get burned out and upset and lose focus because they've been doing too much of one and not enough of the other. They either put their heart and soul into a project they're really passionate about, it doesn't perform well or underperforms, and then they not only have to worry about the financial blowback from that, but they just feel disappointed like any human would, or they're constantly making videos that they hope will go viral, constantly making videos that are piggybacking off of hot topics, and oftentimes people can tell when someone is not exactly genuine in their creative pursuits. And then what? And then what? It's all coming to my mind because I'm trying to figure out what the hell I am doing. Or what the hell am I doing here, specifically in this square or rectangle? I did not really think ahead when it came to my channel. I was just kind of taking it as it went. And since I've been gone for so long, that has given me the opportunity to look back on my previous videos and see them in a different light. And not necessarily better or worse, but see them as, purely exploration. See them purely as following this impulse, this excitement of building this community and meeting new people and connecting with strangers from all over the world. Like, I still love it when I look at my analytics and I'm like, there are people here from the Netherlands, there are people here from South Africa and all these other places. But when I realized how much I missed it, despite all of the chaos that was going on in my life and everything that made me feel like this was impossible to do, I wasn't exactly sure. I'm still not exactly sure what it is I missed. Was it articulating my thoughts? Was it being heard or validated by people on the internet? Was it having the opportunity to make connections between the books that I read? Because oftentimes when I make videos, I'm looking for a theme, whether it's nonfiction books or books from the 70s or a book from each decade, which will be some videos you'll probably see after this one. But when I read by myself, I kind of take each one on its own. I have a moment of like grieving and processing. Of course, that moment where you finally close the last page and you're just like, and have this, transcendent experience. But I don't look at them in like chunks. I don't look at them in themes, which has been different. Or all of the above, or none of the above. I'm just super curious as to what exactly I'm doing here and what exactly other people are doing here. And not that I mean that in a bad way by any means, but sometimes I wonder if being online and making content, making whatever you make, even if it's just for a private audience of people you know in real life or for a more public, wider audience, has it become so normalized? Has it become so ubiquitous and expected? I mean, it's rare to me when I meet someone who has no social media. Like, that's how normal social media is. When it gets to that point, it makes me wonder if perhaps there have been moments in which we would have discussed the why and hadn't, if that makes sense. I don't know why that is like my vocal tag, if that makes sense. I have a lot of feelings, I have a lot of questions, and even in little videos like this in which I'm kind of just rambling, it makes me wonder, am I saying these things now mainly for an audience to give me feedback, give me advice? Am I saying these things now because just the simple act of saying them and the experience of editing them and watching them over gives me new insight? Am I saying them just to say them? Like, just to scream into the void, just to be heard? I am unclear, but I still think no matter what, that the question is worth asking. And if I am able to be intentional, not to say that I wasn't in the past, but as I said, that was more exploratory. If I'm able to be more intentional about what it is I make and why, my hope is always, always and forever to influence you to read. And I say read, whether that's the traditional way with your eyes, whether that's audiobooks, whether that's Braille, whether having someone you love like read aloud to you, or, having some celebrity with a very distinct voice that you find really engaging read to you. I just want people to read. That's really all I got. There's also that element as well of like people finding your YouTube channel. If people I know have found it, they haven't told me And that is exactly how I like to keep it. Because there's something to be said for the way you act in front of other people, the way you act when you are by yourself, like I am now, and the way you act when you are by yourself, but you know that what is going to be shared will be shared to other people. It's a lot of layers. There is just a lot of layers here. But even then, I think it's good for me. These look exactly the same. Like, this is why I'm not a beauty guru. I don't actually know what I'm doing. And also, like, why did we start adding guru to the ends of all these words? This is what you get when a nearsighted person does their makeup at a distance. As if I'm not just gonna wear a mask the whole time I'm at it anyway. This is the part where I am looking for audience feedback, because maybe an outside person who has the joy, blessing, and privilege of not being in my head, maybe you can figure it out.